The Board of Commissioners here to have a public meeting with the LPRF grant presentations and have some public input. So at this time, the meeting is open. Number 2 is presentation and discussion proposed by LPRF project. It's going to begin at the Dixie U/Diamond Sports Ball Field and Boat Route area for proposed kayak launch improvements. And B is the Spring City Boat Ramp proposal kayak launch for improvement. This time we have I'll let the city manager, Mr. Thomas, introduce our guest.
Thank you, Mayor. We're pleased to present a presentation with Mr. Clay Lazan about the Dixie Youth Diamond Sport Kayak Launch. This is part of a grant requirement to have a public meeting and public input. He'll go over everything that's exciting that's going to happen, and we look forward to hearing from everybody about any thoughts or improvements or whatever you have to say. Will be fine by him, I'm sure. He'll try to help.
Absolutely. Thank you, Thomas. Thanks so much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you to the commissioners, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and then everyone in attendance. I appreciate you being here. Like Thomas said, this is the first of 2 required public meetings that the town of Spring City that we are doing for the town of Spring City to discuss the LPRF grant that the state of Tennessee has invited the town of Spring City to continue to apply for. So we made it through phase 1. They have asked us to go into phase 2. This is a part of that application. So tonight we're going to talk about the projects that have been mentioned, talk about the grants, the funding, all of the elements that we are proposing in the concept designs for the 2 sites for your town. And then there'll be plenty of time at the end for questions that you may have. We've got an hour here, so I'm here to answer any and all of your questions to the best of my ability. A lot of the stuff that you're going to see up here is required by the state for the presentation. It may be a little dry. There may be a lot of words on some of them. I'm not going to read everything, I promise. And you're probably going to know some of this information. So I apologize in advance. I'm not trying to insult you, just letting you know that some of it's just required by the state. So first of all, who am I? I'm Clay Lazan. If we haven't met, I see some familiar faces in the room. I'm a planning and design manager with Tennessee Riverline, so I'm a licensed landscape architect in the state of Tennessee. And you may be wondering, what in the world is the Tennessee Riverline? The Tennessee Riverline is it's an initiative of UT Extension out of Knoxville. So my office and my team lives in Knoxville, but we receive most of our funding from our principal partners, the University of Tennessee and TVA. So what we do is we work with communities along the Tennessee River through all 4 states to help improve their public health, their economic development, their equity of access to the water, outdoor recreation, and environmental stewardship. And so we do this through a lot of different ways, but primarily it's through creating local water trails or improving outdoor recreation. Spring City has been a part of our program. That's incorrect. You've been a part of our program before 2024, since like 2021. So we've been working with Spring Cities for quite some time, and they've been quite committed to improving outdoor recreation and safety in your area. So we've been actively looking for ways to financially get some of the ideas that we've discussed with the town done, and that's where this LPRF grant came into play. We're also going after a federal grant, which is not the point or the discussion of this, but I'm happy to talk about that in more detail if you would like. So anyway, some really exciting things. And before we get into kind of the design, just want to kind of talk a little bit about some of the community demographics. This information was kind of required by the LPRF grant. So the town of Spring City has a population right around 2,300 people, kind of fluctuates a bit. But we talked with some people from the Trust for Public Land who did some estimates for us. And even though you've got just about 2,300, 2,200 in the town, almost 6,000 people live within a 10-minute drive of the Dixie Youth Ball Field area, or one of the sites that we're talking about. So almost double. So even though they're not in the city limits, right outside of Ray County, so a lot of people live close to this particular site. And you guys already have around between 61 and 70 estimated acres of recreation land within Spring city limits. So I say all of that just to say, you guys have an incredible small town feel and charm, and you also have a ton of recreation land, a ton of outdoor recreation for a town your size. That's a good thing. We feel at the Tennessee Riverline and the team that we've been working with here in Spring City think that that's something that should be promoted and encouraged and invested in. Also, we worked with the Trust for Public Land, and they did a little bit of work in just the demographics of the area, but they found that approximately 20% of the households in Spring City were low-income households. And I don't say that to embarrass anyone or anything like that. It's just that it almost goes without saying that, especially in this economy, low-income households typically do not have a lot of disposable income for vacations or recreation or whatever it might be. So again, this project, by investing in the existing infrastructure and sites that you have, and the environment that you have, and the recreation land that you have, it's almost a way of giving back to the community, to the people, in a way for them to also continue to enjoy the recreation without that disposable income. These are just a couple of big picture project goals that we're trying to accomplish with this. We want to improve the safety and welfare of the users on the site and how they recreate. We want to improve water access and accessibility for a variety of users. And when I say that, one of the things that the Tennessee Riverline really focuses on is accessibility for all people. Really, ADA accessibility is what I'm talking about. We completely understand that not everyone likes to recreate, not everyone likes to hike or get out on the water or kayak, but we feel as though you should have the ability to decide that for yourself and not have that decision made for you just because the infrastructure is not there. But we also want to improve the diversity of the outdoor recreational opportunities. So not just motorized boating. We want to improve the site's ecological benefits if necessary, and then also just public space along the water in Spring City. So those are big time goals. We think that there's going to be numerous positive impacts for the community, but some of those are just having improved facilities for paddlecraft users and creating your local water trail, which has the potential to benefit the local economy, whether it's through festivals or races or outdoor entrepreneurial enterprises. And then you have the improved public amenity spaces for different types of recreation, like I mentioned, and then a safe ADA accessible launch or launches, which to my understanding would be the first for Spring City, but also the first in Ray County. So that's kind of a fun thing. Or someone say yes. Who's that? There you go. You guys, again, I'm not trying to insult you. This is just stuff that's required on the thing. You guys know where these sites are. You know where your county is. You know where the city limits are within Ray County. But this is for people in Nashville. So again, we're talking about improvements at the boat ramp at Dixie Youth and then the Piney River boat ramp. And we'll talk about those in more detail. Site topography, I know you can't see this from there, but again, this is just kind of required. So overall, we think that both of these sites are going to offer little in way of like developmental challenges because they're already technically developed. So as you'll see, a lot of the things that we're proposing are additive. We're not really having to go in and take out a lot of trees. We're not proposing building new boat ramps or anything like that. So overall, we think it's going to be pretty simple in regards to the site's topography. The only thing that will be challenging, as we'll see, to navigate is kind of the steep slope that we have here at the Dixie Youth Ball Field boat ramp. So that we don't have you'll see what I mean, but it's kind of steep right there down to the water. So we got to figure out a way to do that safely. And then just the Piney River boat ramp. This is an old image, so I apologize. You've done a lot of work here, so it's been redredged. You have a new courtesy dock, as we'll see in some other photos. But again, all that to say, it's not going to, the site's topography is not going to impede the overall project. Again, just some existing site photos. You guys have been here, I'm sure. This is the Dixie Youth site. So mostly an open gravel lot. There's a connecting trail right now that kind of leads back to Veterans Park with a boat ramp and a fishing pier. And then existing site photos. These are more recent of the Piney River boat ramp. So large gravel lot, lighting, utilities with the new gangway, courtesy dock, and boat ramp. So overall, these are some of the things that we are looking to add, to both of these sites. Not, you'll see when I show the concept design. Losing my voice. But we're looking to improve the sites by adding water fountains, trash recycling bins, kayak storage racks, wayfinding and interpretive signage, picnic tables, bike racks, floodable restrooms. That's something that's required by TVA for this particular site. A kayak launch, obviously, native shoreline planting, ADA parking, improved parking areas, and overflow parking. What I'm not going to show tonight in regards to the Dixie Youth site, so we've looked at the entire site, and what we've looked at doing is improving the entry into that particular site. We have, in our cost estimate, we've allocated some space for signage, improved signage at the road, and then we've looked at asphalting that main road in and then all the way back to the boat ramp, and then asphalting the parking back there at the boat ramp. I'm not going to show, just because that's just literally a road, I'm not going to show that tonight. But again, so what we're thinking as a concept, this might look like for the Dixie Youth site is this. I just want to reiterate that this is a concept. Should we get selected to move forward with the grant and we are awarded the money, some of that money is going to go towards engineering, design services, and the overall design can change. So if you have comments and questions and concerns, all of that would be greatly appreciated for the future design phases. So what we're proposing for this site is just overall improved pedestrian vehicular circulation, so striping some of this, creating the floodable restrooms here so that you have ADA accessible parking, you've got a water fountain, so if you've been out on the water all day and just need to come in, use the bathroom, drop off some trash, grab some water, whatever it might be, you've got a spot to do that. We've also got kind of an unloading area here, so you could drop off if you had a large group or you had a bunch of kayaks or canoes or whatever it might be, you could drop those off, go park, come back. And then we've got kind of like a large patio kind of picnic area right here. So we've got some trees, some shade that we've added to the site, some native planting, as well as picnic tables. And then this also kind of serves as a trailhead kiosk. So I know some people have asked me about the trail connector, whether or not we're going to talk about that tonight. We're not. I'm not a part of that project. That's for another time. But the idea being that this would kind of serve as a connection or a trailhead for that project in the future. And then again, we've got the kayak launch. So you've got a gangway, walkway down, and the ADA accessible launch. So we got two ways down. I mentioned the steep bank and how we had to navigate that. We've got stairs for those who just want to use the stairs, or for those who need, we've also got a ramp down that's cut in with some retaining walls, as you'll see in some concept renderings. And then Piney River, that's much, you guys have already done a ton of work to this particular area, so this is a lot less involved, but essentially improving some of the parking, having ADA accessible parking close by with the ADA accessible walkway, riparian planting, same drop-off area, but then because you already have the courtesy dock, we've priced out the fact that you could just add a launch here. So in theory, you could put in here, go all the way over to Dixie Youth, get back in the water, come over, so you have this connected space where you now have the opportunity to canoe or paddle boat or kayak all around this really interesting and amazing landscape that you guys have surrounding the Piney River, Veterans Park, all of the little islands. So anyway, that's the two kind of rough concepts that we have for those sites. And again, we just think that overall, this is going to add access and amenities for non-motorized watercrafts. You've now got this picnicking area where there really was just a gravel lot before, and now the trailhead and restrooms can serve as kind of group gathering places for activities. You could even rent this thing out for birthday parties or whatever it might be. So anyway, future paddle events, races, like I mentioned, the list kind of goes on and on and on about how we can now activate and use this space. We've done some kind of quick, sketchy renderings of what the Dixie Youth boat ramp might look like. So here you can just see the improved parking, the restrooms. You got the kayak launch kind of down there. This is kind of turning the corner. It kind of got cut off, but you got the trailhead over there, some bike racks coming into this kind of picnic area. On the picnic area again, and then you kind of see the ramp coming down to the water. So we had to kind of cut into the bank there. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what it could look like. If you've never seen an ADA accessible kayak launch, I just wanted to kind of show some precedent images of what that might look like. It's a pretty cool setup. So this is a company out of Pennsylvania called BoardSafe. So in theory, and they've got videos online if you're really interested, but in theory, someone would come up here, place their kayak, canoe, whatever it might be, in this chute, drag it down, and then they'd be able to get out of their wheelchair and hop down and then help themselves into their craft. It's actually it sounds hard, it's a pretty elegant thing. I've used it before. It actually helps me getting in and out of a kayak, so it's kind of cool. But then also just ideas of like riparian planting as needed. The planting at Dixie Youth is actually pretty good. There's actually some great plants on site already, so I don't think we'd have to do too much there. But then also just an idea of what these floodable restrooms kind of look like.
What exactly does that mean, floodable restaurant?
Restroom, yeah, that means that because it's so close to the floodplain, if there was a flood event, if the water came up, it has to have a way of getting out of that. So it's literally just like grates in the side of the building so that as the water recedes, it's not sitting inside that building. All right, the all-important question. Project funding, where is it coming from? What are we looking at? So I'm not going to share the detailed kind of cost estimate tonight. That's really not a part of this presentation, but we have an itemized cost estimate for both sites. And when you add those up, the total project cost is just over $1 million. And I mentioned that we're going after the LPRF grant, but we're also going after the ARC grant. So ARC is a federal grant. So we have been asked to apply for both of these, which is good news. So we're working on a federal grant and a state grant. And what that means is that the federal grant, the RISE on top, pays about 47.6% of the project. The LPRF grant would pay 50% of the project, which means that we've got to make up 2.4%. That would be Spring City's local match, which comes out to about $26,000. And we've already discussed this with the city, that would be taken care of by in-kind funds. So the city would do the utility work for that restroom that we were talking about. So any kind of lighting, any kind of sewer, any kind of water work would be done by the city at the Dixie Youth site, which would more than make up that 2.4% of the local match. I'm gonna have to shout a little bit. Just in regards to future programming and phases, I don't have a ton of information here, but just to kind of give you an idea of what Spring City has done in the past with the Tennessee Riverline. So we have stages in the Tennessee Riverline's program. So we have 3 stages. Spring City's completed stage 1, and we've completed stage 2. So we're trying to work on moving into stage 3. And in stage 2, we did conceptual design work for Veterans Park. I'm not saying that there are plans to pursue that work. I'm just saying that there are conceptual designs done and could be used for future grant applications. But then I know also we talked about that CTC connection that would connect downtown Veterans Park, Dixie Youth Boat Ramp to that trailhead. So there's other things going on. I am not going to read all this. This is on here. So in addition to just meeting the necessary LPRF requirements for the application, we get bonus points for how much we align with the statewide comprehensive outdoor recreation plan, or their SCORP. And I'm just putting this up here to let you know that we think that this project, the partnership that the Tennessee Riverline has with the town of Spring City meets, we get a lot of bonus points is what I'm saying. That's why this is up here. So we think we meet a couple of the action items of goal 1. We meet one of the action items of goal 2, which is good. 1 from goal 3, and then 1 from goal 4. So all of that just to say we're getting bonus points for this, this particular project. The grant also requires that we provide a 3-year project timeline. I don't think this project would take 3 years, so I've created a timeline that's an estimate based on the project start date. So we think that contracting would begin if we're awarded the money. We would, in theory, receive the federal money this fall, the state money at the start of 2027. So that's why I've got contracting kind of between 2026, 2027 starting. Then we move into design development, engineering, permitting, construction documentation. Just before the end of 2027, we'd have contractor selection, procurement, pre-construction. And then I think that construction would take 6 to 8 months, roughly. It really just kind of depends on that start date, how much rain we get, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, months 25 through 26, testing, commissioning, walkthrough, substantial completion, inspections, and grant closeout by month 27. The reason there's a gap between month 27 and month 32 for the grand opening is because if it started in September, October of this year, that month 27 would be like November or December. So it's not a great time for a grand opening of a park or like a parklet or a kayak. So I just pushed that into the spring. Anyway, that was a lot of talking. I thank you so much for your time, and we've got a lot of time left for any kind of questions. I'm happy to go back on any of this as you see fit. Yes?
Would you go over for the audience and for our benefit of what we discussed about the restroom at the Piney River Boat?
Sure. So it's not on this particular plan. It is not on this particular plan, but an earlier version of this actually included a restroom at this site location. After we showed that initial idea to TVA, they really kind of dissuaded us from that just because it was in the floodplain. So they don't it's not that it's unallowable. They have this phrase where they say, is the juice worth the squeeze? I don't know if you guys have ever heard that. And they're like, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze for putting a bathroom in the floodplain. But that does not mean that we cannot, in future work, pursue putting that bathroom somewhere outside of the floodplain on this site. So it's not completely off the table. It just may be off the table with this particular grant application. If that makes sense. Yes.
There's not much to not like in these two visions here, but for the price,
Sure.
over $1 million.
Sure.
What's the lion's share of the money go to? Is it the moving the dirt around initially? Is it the early engineering? I mean, trees and paving is not.
No, it's a great question. I would say it's split between, right now it's probably split between contingencies and materials. So we're holding 15% of the overall budget for administrative fees and design development fees. So that's roughly.
So you got your design.
That's so $50,000 we've got set aside for that. These kayak launches, in regards to materials, those aren't cheap. Those are about $100,000.
They don't make a lot of them.
They don't make a lot of them. They are made to last. These things are essentially bomb-proof. And you can go back and forth, and we've done this with communities who have chosen lesser quality kayak launches, and then they've replaced them 2 years later, when there was a flood and it ripped off and, went all the way into another county.
Seems like a couple of years ago, I saw early depictions around these areas, and they had them cut into the ground almost
Yes.
to do the sleuthing.
Yes, yeah.
I didn't know if those would be any.
We've seen that before. This particular location, just because of the steepness of that bank, makes that a little difficult. Just in regards to getting an ADA walkway down, you need more length to get down that far. But I have seen that before.
Okay.
So we're also, again, to answer your question, I would say it's materials and design fees. Just given some of the, you're right, pavement is not, but a restroom is substantial cost. The kayak launch is a substantial cost. And then what's not being shown here is, we're paving all of the road back
A
out.
lot of this being near floodplains, where's the waste gonna go?
Well, we are under the impression that we'll be able to connect. So there's an existing restroom at the ball fields.
Oh,
So we would connect that utility. That's about a 700-foot, roughly, trench that has to be dug along that road,
Yeah.
or under the road. Either way, however they decide to do it. That's above my pay grade. Good questions, thank you. Yes, sir.
Is there a example that we can see for the kayak
For like the actual kayak or the
Local.
launch?
local? Is there a example that we can see?
I don't know. I don't have one in this particular presentation.
So the closest one, Fall Creek Falls has one.
I don't know if they do. Does anyone know if Fall Creek Falls has? Are you
They
talking
have
about a
a-
launch like
They
this?
have a kayak launch, but it's nothing like that.
Okay.
They have the floatable,
Yes.
kayak launches.
Yes.
They have got one ADA, connector, but it's nothing, it comes right off the shore. You set your kayak down in it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
slide off right into it, and then it's on some little dollies that rolls you right on down,
Yes.
brings you into the water.
Yes. Yes. I've seen those. But to answer your question, I'm not sure that there is one locally. You guys would be the first.
Is this permanent?
Typically,
you take
yes.
it out
You
when they
can
lower the
take
water?
it out. You can take it out, but it's designed.
It just goes up and down with the,
With the water?
Yeah, it's hard to see it in this particular plan, but you see these cables.
Okay,
So those cables would be anchored to a concrete footing in the shore, and then that would allow it to go
So
up
with
and
the water
down
level
and
as it
hold the
goes
water
in.
tension
Okay.
when it floods. Yes. Yes.
Question. Would it be possible to include a restroom in this, particular thing that we're talking about at the Piney River Boat Launch? Because there's no restroom available.
I'm not gonna say it's not impossible. It would take a lot of finagling of the cost estimate that we've already submitted. There are other opportunities. I'm not at liberty to discuss them now, but there are other things that we've been discussing with potential donors that might allow us to add a restroom at a future date.
I realize that it would need to be in a different,
big
higher ground, basically.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But, I think it'd be pretty important.
I think so too, as does the city manager. So it may not be a part of this particular grant cycle. The bulk of the work may be done in Dixie Youth as opposed to Piney River, but we have other things on the
So
horizon.
you're favoring Dixie Youth, basically?
No, we're still thinking that both of them could be done. It just means that the restroom for Piney River may not be now, but
so
in
we
the
just
future.
used the porta potties for a while, what we've been doing.
Or we could,
Until you.
I need to talk to my team about that. There may be a way for us to kind of work that out.
I'm just thinking if we did choose that to decide that there's no restroom.
Which we all used at some point, yeah.
One of the things that the city manager and I have looked at, you have an array of type of portable restrooms, on wheels and everything else. It's temporary. you can actually rent one that's on wheels that they will keep it supplied with water and everything, but it has to be pumped out every so often regularly, but it's, there again, it's not an impossible thing. We've looked at all kinds of options. Tiny little boat ramp, if you, they can overview with the landscape and the, current flood layout. We extend our boundaries. We have very limited dry footage. You just don't want to look at our footage, it's like, we've been in depth on that.
I appreciate the question. It's not out of the question. It's just I need to talk to my team and we would have to finagle. Because what I'm saying is like just adding a restroom to our current cost estimate would increase the price substantially, which wouldn't not look good in the application. So if we add it, we're just gonna have to lose it somewhere else so that we're not increasing the budget too much.
Would the boat ramp actually be a cheaper location to put the kayak launch than the Little League field?
In theory, yes.
I mean, that's why I'm thinking if you have a restroom, it might just balance out.
But for this plan, it's to do both of them, is that correct?
Yeah.
That's correct. The idea is to do both.
Both of them. We're not
It's
altering
either
this.
or, it's-
Oh, I'm sorry, I was not
Okay.
clear. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I was of the impression that we were talking about
One or
No,
the
no,
other.
no. Kayak launch is in stone.
Okay, well, that's good then.
One restroom is in stone, the second restroom is plain.
Yeah, we had it in there, but EVA.
Fixed it.
Any other questions or thoughts?
Does this plan affect the Little League field over there?
No, ma'am. No, it does not. If anything, it adds a little bit of overflow parking and it improves the entry in the roadway. And most of that, I mean, depending on when they start, I mean, I'm just adding, tell me if this is not what you meant, but in regards to the season and when they start construction, most of the construction is gonna be at the back, down by the boat ramp, and shouldn't affect normal fall seasons. Plus, a lot of the games are at night, anyway, or in the evening. Anything else? Well, if you do not have questions now, there will be another public meeting, I think, in 3 weeks. Is that right? 26th. The 26th at, that one's at 5 o'clock? Am I right?
5:30.
5:30. 5:30. There will be another public meeting. So if you have any questions or comments between now and that time, you're welcome to come back. Otherwise, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I don't know if, because we're a little early, 24 minutes, so I don't know if the agenda's gonna get pushed up or not, but, or if you guys are gonna take a break. I don't wanna speak for the commission. But I think that's all I have.
There you
So,
go.
thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.